If group chats drain you instead of exciting you, you might have wondered why something that feels so easy for others feels exhausting for you. And psychology says this difference is not random, because while some brains thrive on constant stimulation, others process information deeply and continuously. So every notification, every message, every shift in tone pulls on your attention in a way that slowly wears you down, even when nothing is actually wrong. And that quiet discomfort you feel is your brain signaling overload, not disinterest or rudeness. This is because avoiding group chats is often less about social anxiety or antisocial behavior, and more about how your brain manages attention, emotional processing, and cognitive load. And research shows that people who withdraw from noisy digital spaces are often operating with higher sensitivity and deeper internal processing, which comes with both costs and hidden strengths. Psychology says your brain can only hold a limited amount of information at one time, a concept known as cognitive load, and group chats overload this system because multiple conversations, jokes, emotional cues, and expectations arrive at once, forcing your mind to constantly switch focus. And research shows frequent task switching drains mental energy faster than sustained attention. So while others skim messages effortlessly, your brain is trying to fully process each one, which creates fatigue, not boredom. Research also shows that introverted and reflective thinkers rely more heavily on internal processing rather than external stimulation, meaning your brain naturally turns inward to analyze, interpret, and connect information. So when a group chat floods your senses, your mind cannot filter it as easily and instead treats every message as meaningful input, which explains why silence feels like relief rather than loneliness, because your nervous system finally gets space to recalibrate. Your brain is also wired for emotional accuracy, and psychology calls this empathic attunement, which means you subconsciously track tone, intention, and emotional shifts in communication. And in group chats, this becomes overwhelming because text lacks clear emotional cues, so your mind fills in the gaps, imagining meanings, reading between lines, and anticipating reactions, which research shows increases mental effort and emotional fatigue, especially for people high in sensitivity and social awareness. Another reason is attentional control, because studies show some brains are better at sustained focus rather than divided attention, and group chats demand fragmented focus, rapid responses, and constant availability, which conflicts with how your mind prefers to operate. So avoiding these spaces is not avoidance, but self-regulation, your brain choosing environments that support clarity, depth, and stability rather than chaos. Psychology also points to boundary intelligence, which is the ability to sense when stimulation exceeds capacity, and research shows people who set digital boundaries early experience lower stress and higher emotional regulation later. So when you mute notifications, leave chats, or respond less frequently, your brain is not failing socially. It is protecting cognitive resources and maintaining balance in a world designed for constant engagement. So when you step back from group chats, remember, this behavior reflects how deeply you process information, how carefully you manage attention, and how attuned you are to emotional signals. And psychology says these traits are linked to insight, self-awareness, and long-term mental resilience, which means what looks like withdrawal from the outside is actually regulation, intelligence, and respect for your own limits. If this explanation felt familiar, it might be because your brain has been misunderstood rather than broken. And if you want more psychology that reframes quiet behaviors into strength, subscribe to the channel and share this with someone who always wondered why group chats feel heavier than they should.